Hi, my name is Jimmy Hallyburton, and I'm Boise Bicycle Project member number 1. What number are you?
3 adjectives about Jimmy. Oh my goodness. Kind, smart, and committed.
Brave, empathetic, obnoxious, because I'm the older sister.
Fun,
smile,
hardworking, problem solver,
messy,
welcoming,
gentle giant.
I admire him for his work with the bicycles and built up a pretty big reputation.
His Tour de Fat costumes were always great. He used to just wear like the tightest, most outrageous stuff. And then he developed into this Pirates of the Caribbean thing for Tour de Fat. And then the Bears You Dare rides, he wore an animal pelt tied around his waist.
Jimmy's not afraid of what other people think or being a little bit goofy. I love that. We need more of that in Boise.
He's been hugely encouraging to my staff and myself. He's made a big difference in my life. Things can get hard and Jimmy's always like, we got it. It's like, yeah, we do, Jimmy, we got it.
So Jimmy and I met in 2006 on a wildfire crew. And I remember he had this really cool idea to recycle bikes. And sure enough, a few months later, he was opening doors, these big ideas and fearlessness and willing to try anything, and knows the people and knows how to have the conversations and knows who to bring in to make these amazing things happen, like BBP 17 years later.
For many of us who came here as refugees or as immigrants, very many people know Jimmy because of the biking situation.
When I first met Jimmy, I was with about 100 kids probably, and they were all lined up to give free bikes. Many of these kids didn't speak English, but his smile and his kindness just invited everybody to get closer and get to know him. And not only were they happy to receive a bike, but they were also happy to meet a guy that was so nice towards them and very patient. I think that's who he is. It's just in him to try to make a difference, and having the Boise Bicycle Project as a tool, and he uses that so well to reach so many people and to help people.
The crash happened on September 23rd in 2015. My son was hit riding his bike home from kindergarten. I'm pretty sure Jimmy already had the idea in his head that the Idaho State driver's license test needed 2 questions that had to do with bike pedestrian safety. So he used that opportunity with my son's story kind of staying present in the news, and he got a meeting with the governor at the time and went down there and just proposed very simply, this is something you can do right now so that every new driver has to at least study the manual and know that you're gonna have some questions on the test that have to do with bike and pedestrian safety. And sure enough, by January 1st of 2016, they were on the test. To have something positive happen that quickly after our son's crash, that definitely stands out as the most impactful thing, and certainly something that just helped fuel me in our family's recovery through that whole time.
One thing I really remember about Jimmy is he remembers the kids' names and their stories. There was a mobile repair and he always likes to go to Whitney, and these brothers brought down their older brother's bike. It needed repair, but he was still mad that his brothers took it. Jimmy saw that the bike really wasn't repairable, but the kid loved the pedals that were on it. The parents said, keep the bike and we'll figure out what else to do. Jimmy went to the bike project that night, built a new bike, and used those same pedals and then delivered it to Whitney at midnight. So that next morning I was able to call that kid in before school, and he was so thrilled. So that was amazing, and that really had an impact on that kid.
He's a cultural broker. He's able to figure out the 2-3-year-old little girl who just wants her bike just as it is. I've also seen older refugee men who are just happy to have a bike to go to work, to go back home. In fact, I feel like every time I meet with Jimmy, I'm pleasantly surprised and I'm reminded of the heart behind everything that he does. And it's a heart that beats with the heartbeat of this city, with the heartbeat of this community.
I think that's the thing that people don't realize is how much work goes into these events. And Jimmy, he hardly sleeps. I always wanted to put the brakes on because I was exhausted and other people as well. But Jimmy, yeah, he just has that extra gear, and because of that, it got people excited about bikes. And ultimately, when you get folks excited and they have fun on the bike, that's when they're gonna continue to ride.
As Jimmy's role switched at BBP from being down on the floor, really helping people one-on-one, to kind of being up in the office a lot more, being on phone calls and webinars, riding his bike to City Hall. He really wanted to get back to the community engagement. That's the stuff he really enjoyed.
I think fairly early on, expressed an interest in, at some point, availing himself of that opportunity and running for office. And Jimmy wasn't doing this for himself. Jimmy wasn't doing this for some future ambition. He was doing this for his community and what he could do in terms of serving his community. And that's huge.
When I think of Jim, well, I think he's got a great future. He's working his way up to the city council, and maybe one day he'll be the mayor of Boise.
I think Jimmy has really ensured that Boise Bicycle Project is going to survive. It's really his legacy as he's built this, and he's willing to trust those around him to really hand this off and see where it goes. The board he's built, the sustainability we built, the succession we built, he knows that this organization is going to survive him and probably flourish. It's going to get bigger and better and more impactful.
Right on, Jimmy.
Right on, Jimmy.
Tuaribia Moidikiri, Jimmy.
Right on, Jimmy.
Right on, Jimmy. I'm very proud of you.
No, I'm gonna cry.
Right on, Jimmy. Right on, Jimmy.